This is Nashima, the CEO of InfoTestScore.com, and we are a team of CPAs and EAs. What is the process for allowing disallowed passive loss in multiple activities? This is my today's topic, in which I am going to cover what is a passive loss that is not allowed, what is the definition of a ratable basis, and what is the process for allocating disallowed passive activity loss among activities, which I am going to explain with the help of a case study. What is a passive loss that is not allowed? If someone of your passive activity loss is not allowed for the tax year, the Internal Revenue Service requires that the loss that was disallowed should be distributed among your passive activities in a ratable manner. What is the definition of a ratable basis? When something is allocated proportionally, it is done on a rational basis. In the context of disallowed passive losses or passive activity losses, the disallowed loss is divided among your passive activities according to each activity contribution to the total loss. What is the process for allocating disallowed passive activity loss among activities? The objective of this allocation is to ensure that every passive activity is responsible for their fair share of the disallowed loss. This method ensures that disallowed passive activity losses are handled fairly and proportionally. What is the term loss from an activity means? The term loss from an activity means the amount by which the passive activity deduction from the activity for the tax year exceed the passive activity gross income from the activity for the tax year. I'm going to explain it with the help of a case study that how to allocate the disallowed loss. John Pine is involved in three passive activities A, B, and C, and A, B, and C. John incurred the total passive losses of $21,000. From A, John incurred $9,000 losses, whereas from B, activity B, John incurred $16,000. Whereas from activity 3, John had passive income of $2,000. The total losses from all three activities, John incurred of $21,000. $23,000 was the total sales, where the total deduction was $44,000. Now we have to divide 21,000 between A and B, 21,000 passive losses between A and B. So John will allocate 36% to A and 64% to B. How did we come up with the 36% and 64%? 9,000 John incurred from A, and the total losses were $25,000 from A and B. So 9,000 divided by $25,000, we have 36%, and the total losses from A and B were A, B, and C were $21,000. So the 36% of $21,000 is $7,560. The same calculation we will apply for activity B. 16,000 losses John incurred from activities B, and 25,000 were the total losses between A and B. 16,000 plus $9,000, and 16,000 divided by $25,000 is the 64%, and 64% of $21,000 $13,440. So John is going to allocate 36%, which is $7,560 to A, and John is going to allocate 64%, which is $13,440 of $21,000 to B. So in this chapter, I have covered what is the passive loss that is not allowed, what is the definition of ratable basis, and what is the process for allowing disallowed passive loss in multiple activity, which I have explained with the help of a case study. Thank you and God bless you.